So I talked to some young people this weekend about MGTOW, and immediately they both said, no, they're just gay. And I know you're not gay because you guys have said that, and it's just a standard not think about it response. So then I thought, all right, when you say you're MGTOW, you initially get a very negative response from people, and I thought, I wonder why that is. So, I'm using my rationale for myself. Come on, I can't think, like some rocket scientist, because I'm not. But I think the negative response comes from it is not typically a male way to just withdraw for something. If you think about jousting, it's two guys going at it. If you think about football, it's two teams going at it. If you think about business, even if you're like at the head of a business, most business guys are out there, chasing after money or, trade or whatever it is they're trying to achieve. You just don't think about withdrawal. Now, I'm not saying men have never withdrawn, because obviously there have been monks. There have been aesthetics and philosophers who just go off wherever and think the deep thoughts. So it's not totally that withdrawing is unheard of. It's just usually you think of it as an exception, not the rule. And perhaps you guys are an exception. I mean, you can count yourselves as millions, but there are billions, 6 billion people in the world, so you're not a majority yet. And the other thing I'm asking, because, there's a lot of sides to this story. If you withdraw, doesn't that mean the feminists win? Isn't that what they want? They want less of you and more women. And I get it if you guys say no, because we're withdrawing not because they're pressuring us to, but because we're looking to see this whole thing collapse if we withdraw. That's sort of a half yes, because you still are withdrawing, but I also get that it's so unpleasant somewhere that you are withdrawing because it's just not worth it too. Because I've seen that behavior in other men where it's just not, they're not going to bother. They do withdraw when they feel they have no other option. So I kind of get that. I saw some, Jordan Peterson speaking, and he's just getting more and more popular. One reason is because that man is smart. He's a deep, deep thinker. He's a very smart individual. And also, he's not putting too much personal into his analysis. And I think that makes him someone that you would trust, if you know what I mean. I don't have any suggestions now. I mean, my fallback is always go to God, because I am a person of faith and I've lived that life and it worked for me. So that's why I'm going to recommend it to people. But as far as seeing, society fall in the future, I've already asked the question, is that related to Revelation? And I can see parallels that if society fell for social reasons instead of, a world war, I could see that happening too. If all the feminists who hate men withdraw from mankind and decide they're not going to be a wife or a mother, they are going to die alone. If MGTOW withdraw, because I know some of you have had kids, but in the, you live out your twilight years by yourself, and raises your children, she's going to bring them up with that feminist mindset. You know who's going to start having more kids and are still having more kids are people with traditional values. People who are going to stay married, people who want to have children and raise them. Keep their families intact, and because that's a strong unit, that family's going to carry on. And so eventually, if you withdraw enough and you refuse to have children enough, you're going to just take yourself out of the gene pool, and what's going to be left are the people with families. So there's another future I hadn't considered. What do you guys think about that? Shalom.